Hey guys, and welcome to another video on the Supra. In today's video we're going to be installing a brand new flywheel and our brand new NPC clutch. So if you look over here, the boys just unboxed our NPC clutch, which is rated to 300 kilowatts. It's exactly what we're going to be needing for our application.
Yeah, so one of the main requirements for me when I was building my car was basically having a clutch that was easy to drive on the street. I didn't want any sort of button clutches, anything that was, uncomfortable. So I chatted with a good friend, Christian Golby from Golby's Parts, and he recommended the NPC clutch for a W58 gearbox. So it should be really nice to drive on the street, and it should also handle the 300 kilowatts that we're going for. So what came in the kit? We got a brand new clutch, fully organic clutch and pressure plate NPC, and we also got a brand new 10-inch flywheel. With that, we also thought, why not get a brand new rear main seal from Toyota.
That's an original Toyota rear main seal, as you can see there.
Yeah, apparently it was the last one in Australia, but I don't know if I believe that. Yeah, so it should be a pretty fun install, should be pretty easy, and let's get right into it.
We've got the car on jack stands. We've got the car finally jacked up. 4 jack stands for that extra safety. And what we're going to be doing first is draining the gearbox oil before removing the gearbox. So let's get stuck into that. Before we get underneath the car down and dirty, we'll do the interior work first. Going to take the gear knob off and the gear shifter off, and then we'll go underneath the car and take the rest of the things that are necessary to come off. Okay, so we got those 4 screws off, 10 mils. Gonna put them in this cup holder so we don't forget. Oh, sorry, the coin holder. Cover comes off. Rubber housing comes off. We're going to take the rest of the bolt from underneath. As you can see guys, Nick's removed everything around the shifter. So what we're going to do is have to go underneath the car and remove the whole shifter itself from underneath. Cool.
Yes. So the first thing we're doing is dropping the center bearing.
Okay, now.
Let's see, that's the last screw on the bell housing out finally.
There she is, boy.
There she is. I'll go underneath the car, see what the boys are doing. There we go. Got all the screws off. Now what are we going to do? We're going to drop
We're going to take this cross member bracket.
Gearbox mount off.
Gearbox mount. I'm just going to unbolt the 4 bolts here, and here, which are 14 mils, and the gearbox is ready to get pulled out. Alright guys, so the moment of truth. gearbox is coming out.
Taking the last bolts off the mount.
Take the 12s off as well, maybe.
Alright, Andrew, now I'm going to wedge it out. Just hold it. Alright, okay.
Right, so we've got the gearbox out. And as you can see here, it's filled all with this grime and old oil caked up in a long time.
Take the bearing out.
Take the bearing out, we're going to replace that. We've got a new one in our
Take the master.
kit. Take the fork out.
And then what we're going to do is put some tape around here so no water gets in. Some tape around there so no water gets in. Then we'll pressure wash the gearbox.
And we're going to pressure wash the whole gearbox, make it look all nice and clean before we put our new clutch in. So let's get stuck into that now. Cleaning the gearbox. She's squeaky clean now.
Yeah.
Let's get to
Have a break.
coffee break
Yeah.
and then reinstalling our clutch and flywheel, guys.
We'll give that a clean as well.
While we're at it,
Should we clean it?
to be taking off our clutch and our flywheel and reinstalling it with our new items right over here, together with the rear main all seal, genuine Toyota one. So let's get stuck into that. Clutch here, we actually upgraded this. We changed it out as soon as Nick bought the Supra. It's not in bad shape, as you can see here, and the surface of the pressure plate here is nice as well. And here we've got our flywheel, which we're going to be changing out with our upgraded flywheel that's in the kit, so we're not too worried about this. As you can see here, all this grime and gunk, it's because the rear main has been leaking, as you can see here, so not a better time to change that out. So we're going to get to that. We're going to clean this as much as possible before we reinstall everything back up. Okay, so let's get into that. And our next guest has arrived. Yeah, the boys! Yeah, the boys! Yeah, the boys! Hey, Nick's opening his brand new clutch up. That's brand new clutch right there. And that's the difference with the standard clutch
Maybe we should make that the
and the
thumbnail.
upgraded heavy duty. Alright, so we've got the rear main all on, as you can see there. It's all on, so now to put our new flywheel and start putting our new clutch, then the gearbox back on.
Alright guys, we're going to put the thrust bearing on now. That's a thrust bearing. That's a fork. So what we do, we get a little bit of grease. High temperature grease. Put a little bit on the, see the shiny part? A little bit of grease there. And also on the pivot. Pivot's in there. A little bit of grease in here. And then we're going to put it onto this, on the thrust bearing. Okay, on the thrust bearing. Put a little bit of grease inside the thrust bearing, inside it. Put it on. There you go. And then we've got the dust cover. We'll put the dust cover on.
So everything's all on inside the bell housing.
A little bit of grease on the shaft.
Now to install the gearbox back onto the engine. Let's go. Guys, so we've just finished bolting up the last bolt onto the bell housing of the gearbox, as you can see there, and we'll just put this cross member, which is a gearbox mount, also here, and we're just about to put the last bolt right here to attach the shifter onto the gearbox. So always remember that this bracket here goes in like that, and then the screw comes through here. Nick with the last piece of our puzzle, and a few battle scars too.
What a day it's been.
Alright, so let's get that straight in there, and that's it. That's our heavy duty clutch installed.
It's going to be worth it. Well, okay guys, so clutch is now installed, gearbox is in. Now we just got Andrew and Nikos filling up the gearbox with oil.
We're going with the ProGear 7585 smooth shift, which is what we've been recommended by and what we've read up about. So we're just going to try that. Clutch is all being completed.
Finally.
Here's the boys over here. We've been on it all day. As you can see outside, it's starting to get dark now. But the Supra's one step closer to getting done.
Next step is
Manual YS300.
exhaust.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and stay tuned to the next one.